Hi there, this is savewith.crypto. Okay, so it's probably no surprise to anyone that next week, in fact, I think it's May the 8th, KYC is going to become compulsory on ByBit accounts. Now, it's got a few implications, and for me, I've kind of enjoyed having 5 different ByBit accounts that I use for various purposes. Now, that's partly because I'm a YouTuber and I want to demonstrate stuff like, for example, the $200 challenge. I wanted that to be in a separate account. I'm also doing a review of Crypto Rover's Crypto C bot that I want to keep separate from everything else, so that's got its own account as well. And then there's other ones that I just kind of mess around with, and this is one. This is one where I put about $300 worth of Bitcoin in a few weeks ago, and I was, seeing how I could trade if I was using kind of small positions and quite high leverage, and I actually managed to double the money from about $300 to $600 in about a month, actually. So it was all very risky, but nevertheless, I just wanted to kind of prove to myself without impacting my main account. So I just find it useful. Now, unfortunately, KYC is only going to be available on one account because there's only one of you. Now, this is a bit of a pain because I definitely want to keep the $200 challenge separate to my main account, and the Crypto C review, I want that to be a separate account as well. Anyway, that's something I'm going to have to talk about later because I haven't decided what to do exactly about that. So meanwhile, there's going to be all these accounts like this one here. This one I've withdrawn the Bitcoin that I had, but I also realised I've got 41 cents worth of USDT in there. Now, I don't know about you, but this sort of annoys me a little bit because after May the 8th, you won't be able to deposit. You can withdraw, but that amount is too small to withdraw, and you won't be able to do any new trades unless you've got KYC. This account is never going to have KYC. Now, this reminds me a bit of Superman 3.
Actually, it's probably more like $143.80 and 1/2 cents. There are always fractions left over in big corporations, but they round it down to the lowest whole number.
What am I supposed to do with 1/2 cent by a third rate mouse? You mean everybody loses those fractions?
Well, they don't exactly lose them. You can't lose what you never got.
Then what happens to all those 1/2 cents? The company gets it?
No, not really. They can't be bothered to collect a 1/2 cent from your paycheck any more than you could.
Then what happens to them?
Well, they're just floating around out there. The computer's nowhere. How many sugars?
1.5.
So then Richard Pryor's character comes up with a way of collecting all the 1/2 cents.
I put in a voucher for expenses. Yeah. Here you go.
Now, very much like Richard Pryor, I'd rather have the money than let ByBit keep it, so I want to take it out. Now, to take it out, there's a fee. So if you did that, well, A, you haven't got the money to do it, and B, the amount is too small. You can do an internal transfer to another ByBit account. Now, this is more interesting because this is free. However, 41 cents is too small. So what my idea is, I'm going to transfer in about $10 from another account, and then I'll have $10.41. Then I'm going to do some reckless trading with it. If I lose it, I don't care because it's only $10. If I get a bit more, I'll transfer it out, and then that's it. That account is cleared. I can close it down or whatever I want to do. That's my plan. Now, I did this from my main account, and the money was actually in the derivatives account, so I needed to move it. You can move it either to the spot or the funding account, doesn't matter. I actually moved it to the funding account, and then I just moved it out from there. And you just do withdraw, internal transfer, then just give it the email of the account you want to transfer it to. So that's all I did there. So now if I go to Assets Overview, I can see that there's $10.41 in there, and that is at the moment in the derivatives account, which is fine. Depending on where you put it, you might find it in the funding or the spot. If it is there, you can just use this button here to transfer it to wherever you want. Okay, so for this we've got USDT in the derivatives account. So I'm going to use derivatives USD perpetual. I could trade anything really, but I'm actually going to trade BTC USDT because that's the one I know the best. Okay, and looked like that was having a nice bit of a dump there. So look, I'm just going to do this quite recklessly. I'm going to go long about here, okay, because that's where it's been before. So 29281, I'm going to do a limit order on, say, 25x leverage. That's quite reckless, isn't it? Okay, so let's say 29281. 29281, and I'm going to use all the money. So I'm going to do buy, confirm, and see what happens. Okay, so that filled, and I'm currently 5 cents down. Just trying to make sense of what's going on here. I mean, this is only the 5-minute time frame, but I suppose, within that, I suppose looks like there's some kind of trend line there, maybe. I mean, these don't really work if the time frame is like super small, but you can see it's doing something like that. In which case, can we see anything at the top? Maybe there's something like that. Maybe there's a few touches there, isn't there? Okay, so let's assume that it's going to bounce around here for a while. So I'm going to take profit about here. So 29,343. So let's do that. 29,343. That should make 5.29%. Okay, that's not be greedy. That's to make it 5%. So you can just click the minus there, and let's aim to make 5%. Okay. Let's see what happens. Now, if this was a larger amount, I'd probably be thinking about, putting a stop loss like 2% in profit there. But it isn't. It's a tiny amount. I mean, I'm only 20 cents in profit at the moment, but it's going the right way up to the take profit. Now the question is, shall I, assuming it does go there, shall I then short it coming back down? I'm tempted not to. I'll tell you why. It's because the funding rate has gone negative. That implies that more people are short than long. Now, what normally happens when that's the case, most people are wrong. So you sometimes see a short squeeze, which means you see the price go massively up. In fact, that's almost making me think that I should probably move that take profit a bit higher, or even just get rid of it for the time being. But I don't know if we're quite there yet, really. I'd like to see that go a little bit more negative. I'll keep an eye on it. Anyway, so as you can see, that line there didn't work out very well at all. This is about an hour or so later. So, that just doesn't really make any sense there, really. Either way, the price has gone back up again. So, sort of heading towards the take profit. If you zoom out a little bit, you can see what the problem was. It's just, you can't really look at trends on such a small time frame. I mean, it's pretty hard to do stuff on this chart anyway. It's much better to do it on TradingView itself. But I suppose what we're looking at is something more like that, maybe. You need about 3 touch points on a trend line. So that's probably what we're looking at, isn't it? And then at the top, hard to say really. Maybe something like that. But either way, it looks like that should hit the take profit fairly soon. I'm actually using an older computer to what I normally use. It's an old 2018 Intel MacBook Pro, whereas I normally use a M1 2020 MacBook Air, which I must admit is a superb machine. If you're after a little laptop, just don't bother with the M2 one. Just get an M1 MacBook Air. They're fantastic. Okay, so what happened there was the price went up, and it did close as I suspected it would, with about a 5% profit. I mean, it's only a few cents, but I was going to try going short from here. I mean, it's not very well planned out, but I'm hoping it goes back down to this bit of the triangle. So let's try that. Let's use all the money. Let's go short. Okay, that hasn't filled yet. That's the order there. Okay, so that filled there now. So I'm probably slightly, I'm 2 cents down. Okay, so hopefully the price will go right down here and I'll make a few cents. Now I really hate shorting, especially when I feel like very bullish about something. So I'm just setting a profit here at 29,315. That's 2.5% in profit. So let's see if it comes down to there. And it looks like that's about to fill. Come on, come down. I mean, it's only going to make 20 cents. Don't like all these little pop-ups it has in the bottom corner. And I never read them. And I'm used to seeing kind of notifications happening down there. Ah, it went back up. Oh, look, I'm just going to close this one here. So I'll just do a market close. So anyway, just a bit of fun that was. To be honest, I'm not a fan of trading on this computer because when the fan kicks in, which you can probably hear now, it goes quite sluggish and stuff, and it's just not responsive enough for doing trading and stuff. So yeah, I'd much rather trade on my my M1 MacBook Air. Anyway, look, there's a few cents more than what there was there before. So I'm just going to transfer this out now. So let's just say transfer. Let's just swap the direction of that. So derivatives to spot, all the USDT. Okay. Confirm that. And then in spot, I'm just going to go withdraw. I'm going to do internal transfer. I'm going to put in the email address of where I want it to go to. That's the account I want it to go to. So there we go. All submit, and there's no transaction fee there. But I have got these things to do. Okay, so that's that gone. So if I look at the overview now, hopefully I've got nothing in here. There we go. Right, so that is that account finished with as far as I'm concerned. Okay, well thanks for sticking with me this far anyway. I'm just wondering, what's going to happen to the price of BIT. Now, BIT is the native token of the ByBit platform. Now, I think as people close down accounts, which they're going to have to because, they're going to become useless if you can't do KYC, or if, say, you've got multiple accounts like I have had. So people are going to want to get their BIT out of there, and then are they going to keep that on ByBit? I don't know. I've got a feeling it's going to sell off a bit, next week. So this is where it is now. It's at 50 cents. So I don't know. I'm tempted maybe to a fairly low leverage short on it. If I decide to do that, I'll let you know. So do make sure you subscribe and make sure you've got the notifications set and all. And when you're down there doing that, please leave a nice comment. Do like the video, of course, and above all, tell your friends.